Hey everybody, this is Blue. I hope everybody's doing good today. Well, this is a long overdue video for me. I am wanting to talk about politics and belief systems. There's been some current events involving Doctor Who that kind of make me feel about how things are going with paganism as well. And so these two things that aren't really related are in a way very similar when you come to the big picture. For those of you who do not know, Doctor Who is a British science fiction series. It has been going on for 60 years, so it is one of the longest running programs out there. In this series, there is Doctor Who, of course, the main character. He is a Time Lord. He is from the planet Gallifrey, and he has a device called the TARDIS that allows him to travel to different times and locations throughout the universes. And so it was kind of cheap. It was sometimes cheesy, but it was beloved by many people, including myself. I grew up on Doctor Who. They used to do it on Channel 11, which is a Des Moines station, and they used to have it on at 10:30 and or 11 o'clock. Sometimes they did a whole series where they had multiple episodes airing one night to complete, this one storyline. And so I watched a lot of Doctor Who in my life. I loved it. And so Doctor Who was this cute little science fiction program that did its own thing, and it was beloved by millions. Paganism is a cute European-based religious system or category. Most of what we consider paganism is Wiccan, and that is from the British Isles, okay? And so you can see there are some similarities. And paganism was cute and wonderful, awesome, because it was kind of like the off-brand science fiction. I mean, for here in the United States, we have Star Trek, Star Wars. Okay, we both know them, right? Well, Star Trek and Star Wars was violent. There were a lot of battles. There were a lot of people dying and all that. It was kind of, in a way, if you compare it, Doctor Who to Star Trek and Star Wars was kind of like paganism with Christianity and Islam. Because Christianity and Islam are the two bloodiest religions in the history of man. Okay? They spread war, they spread chaos, they were demanding, dominating, and, a lot of people loved them. And then there was Doctor Who. And the Doctor was mostly peaceful. He did not like to use weapons. And so he always was out trying to help people, trying to save people. That was his mission. He was not out to cause war, but he fought in wars. And so, in some ways, as I see it, Doctor Who and paganism are very similar when you compare them to the others in their area. Okay? So, what is the message? Well, the message is very simple.
The message.
You saw it, diversity. It is about putting modern day politics into these two items. And we've been seeing this, and it's been driving a lot of people angry. Because they wanted to do this to Star Wars. They have done this to Star Trek. They have destroyed Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. They wanted to go after other characters and other IPs to destroy them. And so in Doctor Who, they turned the Doctor into a female when he was for so many years was a male, which wasn't bad if they would have wrote the female Doctor better. They did a bad job on that. And then they brought the Doctor, David Tennant, who was the most popular of current Who. And they brought him back and they are destroying him. They are destroying him like they destroyed Luke Skywalker. And they're doing this to paganism because people want to talk about
the message.
And so we have a lot of people that are taking their personal politics and forcing it into paganism. Just like they're taking their personal politics, the showrunners and all that, in Doctor Who and destroying that. One of the current things that has happened was Davros. Now, again, for those of you who do not know Doctor Who, Davros was the creator of the Daleks. Davros was in a wheelchair or a life support chair. Well, in modern politics, we can't have a bad guy in a wheelchair because then your people are going to supposedly compare people in wheelchairs to evil villains, mad scientists and all that, which is absolutely ludicrous, right? And so in their latest, or one of their latest episodes, Davros, who for 20, well, maybe 40 years, has been in a wheelchair, now walks around. Because we can't have a handicapped person being a villain. And so that's rewriting. And as the critical drinker put on there, by saying that a person in a wheelchair can't do anything bad, you're kind of taking away their power, their agency. And so we have people that are going through paganism and they are putting their spin on it and they are taking away agency from the one group that everybody can pick on, and that's white men. There are people out there that are wanting to remove any role that a white man has. I have done videos on the vagina churches where men do not have any position of power whatsoever in these churches, that it's strictly female. And you can't be a man-loving female if you want to advance into these churches. Only lesbians can do it. But that's, of course, was on the video that I did, which was been a few years, with the spread of modern political views. We don't know if trans men and trans women and all that, what their role would be in the church, because they might be biologically male. If they identify as a woman, shouldn't they have full access to the church? I should do a follow-up video on that. But we have in this problem that they are putting their politics in there. I'm not a transphobe. I know some of you love to think that I am, but I'm not. Many years ago, Z Budapest had an event in California. It was at a pagan event. And she put a sign up there stating that only biological women could attend her ceremonies. Okay, now that's being kind of transphobic. That's being sexist, actually, because she was saying only biological women. She would not allow cross-dressers, trans, I believe be trans men, or trans, I get that part mixed up, but she would not allow people that had the reaffirming surgeries even to attend her events. Okay, that's pretty spiteful, and I've been against her for that since she done it. But we have a history. I have made videos in which there were ladies who were saying that they were Wiccan, but they would not honor a male god. They would have a double matron god, or I should say goddesses, in their belief system. But they would not give a male deity the time of day. My Facebook page that I deleted recently, I was calling out people, ladies, because they did so many posts of, goddess bless this, goddess bless that, goddess. And I would go through their timeline and then ask them, well, it's interesting that you honor the goddess, but when did you last represent or show respect to a male god? And a lot of them would just block me because they did not want to be blocked. They did not want to be challenged on their beliefs. Wicca is supposed to be about balance, a lord and a lady. None was over the other. They were supposed to be equals. They were supposed to have differences, but when put together, there was harmony and balance. And there are so many people in paganism, because they're putting their political views into their belief system, they are disrupting and destroying that. We want to have some type of community in paganism so that we can grow and be stronger. Because until we do, we'll never be in any type of level compared to Christianity, Islam, the Judeo systems, and other religions. Okay? Because we're infighting constantly. Because I am saying that some of this stuff, a lot of this political views need to be taken out of the belief system, people are going to disagree with me. I mean, now I got to think of her name. Starhawk, yeah. She's guilty of this too. Many years ago, I believe her book was called Circle Round, in which Starhawk created the goddess tradition. She never created a god tradition. She was a feminist, and so she took her social political views, being a feminist, and wrote a book and forced her views into paganism, into Wicca. And that's why today we have so many people that say that Wicca is a goddess tradition. It's not. It's a fertility tradition. Okay? Fertility. And for there to be a baby conceived, there needs to be a male and female. Equal, different, but needed to work together. But because of these political views that people are putting in there, they've been destroying paganism. Just like how people are putting their political views into what's supposed to be entertainment. They have destroyed Doctor Who so effectively. I'm agreeing with Dave Cullen's show. He did a video today telling people to walk away. There is no point about getting angry anymore with Doctor Who. It's been killed off. I mean, they have done so much retconning of it, destroying this, destroying that aspect of it, where it's no longer what we loved. Okay? David Tennant, who, like I said, just not just a few moments ago, was one of the most loved actors, one of the most loved doctors. He is back doing a few episodes as the next Doctor, whatever, and they are destroying him. They are making him pathetic. In one part, he walks out of the TARDIS and basically goes, an hour ago I was an amazing character, because he had just rejuvenated. And so an hour before that, he was the woman doctor. And all of a sudden, the writers had to put in there that he's no longer as good because he's a man. And so that takes away from the character. That is shitting on the Doctor. And then there was later on there was an part where two characters were saying that as a male presenting Time Lord, that is very disgusting, because it's really never been about, well, he's a male and all that. It was just he was a doctor. And there were women that could take the role of the Doctor in their mind, fans. Just like a lot of young guys did, like I did. Okay? I had to buy once I learned I could buy them, the sonic screwdriver just for myself. But they were saying that the Doctor, as a male presenting Time Lord, could not understand the concepts of power. In paganism, we have a lot of ladies that are saying that men are not as spiritual as they are, that men should not fulfill roles in paganism that they do now. I remember when I was more active on social medias, I was going into discussions, and I came in there with an open mind, and they told me that I needed to check my privilege because I was a man. Okay? And one of these chat rooms I remember very well, there was, I think, like 19 women, and I was the only guy, and I was told to check my privilege. And I was just going, I'm here just to listen and learn. And they started going, block him, ignore him. I came to listen and learn, and I was attacked. This is feminism. This is people putting their ideals in there, and they are going to go out and attack. This is why we need to keep politics, gender identity, and all that out of our belief system. Our belief systems. There are so many variants. Now, if you want to do this, have these roles in your belief system, that is fine if you keep it to yourself. This is your belief system. You live it in your life. Hey, that's fine. You have that right. You do not have that right to try to impose that on other people. Some people might not have the same views on gender politics as you do. It doesn't make them bad people. They just view things different. Okay? If it is all right for women to think that they should be controlling paganism and all that, why is it wrong for a man to think the same way about paganism, that they should be able to have a say? Okay? And so we're fighting, and we are destroying. We are spending so much time being negative and attacking each other that we are destroying what paganism is, or I should say was. We were a group of more easygoing people. We valued people of different orientations, people of different points of view. one of the first rituals that I went to, there was one gentleman that was queer. And I can use that term because that's how he described himself. He was a cross-dresser. And he was the next one to my left when I did my first ritual, joining the circle. And he helped me understand, the movements of everything. He was a nice guy. He considered himself a man. He was just queer. He loved to wear dresses. And, hey, he helped me out a great deal. I respect him. But we have so much animosity because we like to have these closed circles that only people that agree with us 100% can be a part of. In this day and age, we have so many times where you can agree with somebody 19 out of 20 items, and the only thing that they're going to focus on is the one that you disagree about. We cannot build a community off that. We are literally destroying ourselves. We are creating division in what was hopefully a good pagan community, because over there, the dynamics, there's the group that is very heavy in transgender politics. That part over there, they're queer. The cis white men are over here. We divide each other so much that we no longer have a community. And it is destroying the purpose of paganism. In paganism, we talked about unity, working together. We did the circle and all that. Remember? We gathered in a circle. We formed a circle because we did that as a group. And now those groups are smaller and more hateful than ever. And it's got to come to an end. So what's going to happen is the walk away. And it's happening. There are people walking away from paganism because of this crap. When I deleted my Facebook pagan YouTube video channel, there were a lot of vacant profiles. People were quitting paganism. There were people that never were active. They joined the group and then nothing. Okay? We cannot expect there to be a lot of participation into our groups, into our community, if we are going to be so decisive. If we are wanting to, segregate people into their particular views in life, we're not going to have the community, and that's got to come to an end. So I've ranted off long enough for a while now. I want you all to think about that. Do you want to have a group of people with different points of view that you can interact with? Or do you want just your little group of yes men? Because that's what it's turning into. So everybody, please take care, be at peace, and remember to watch out for
the message.